in former Yugoslavia, in Bosnia, was created Party for Democratic Action, PDA. It's led by wonderful, famous Muslim intellectual Ali Izetbegovic. Ali Izetbegovic spent 12 years in prison because he wrote book, Islam Between East and West. Exactly, it was Islam between Christians, Judeo-Christian values and Marxist values. Like famous former communist, powerful intellectual Roger Garaudy, former member of French Communist Party Politburo, today Raja Garaudy, Muslim. He wrote in his book that there are three orthodoxies in Europe, like in Hegelians, like in Hegel's thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. So there is three orthodoxies: Christianity, Marxism, and Islam, and permanent in reshaping, remodeling the European culture. So we have in Bosnia party which call themselves not Islamic Party for Revolutionary Republic. No, it's Party for Democratic Action, PDA. They have very secular program, but there are other but they are for freedom for Muslims, and they won almost landslide victory in the so-called municipal election in Bosnia and Herzegovina. There are big problem in so-called Kosovo, in Kosovo province, which is Serbs claim it's our historical part of Serbia. In Kosovo Polje, Turkish army crushed the Christians' three armies, so for them it's a very painful symbol. But in today Kosovo is populated by almost 100% by Skiptari. You call them Albanians. Albanians call themselves Skiptari. Albanians mean Alba, white mountains, Albania. Albions, British were called Albions. So better Skiptari. Hungarians are not Hungarians, Hungaria. It's the Latinized form. They are Magyars. So I can call American Anglo-Saxon white Protestant. It will be not true, exactly, was. So there are Bosnian Muslims. I don't know the Bosnian Muslims. Muslims of Bosnia. Some of them, they are not Muslims. They are also Christians in Bosnia. So Serbians nationalists, ruled by communist charismatic Slobodan, want simply demolished, destroyed in way of Ariel Sharon, those, we call it West Bank of Serbia, Kosovo today. We call it by name, exactly, because houses are demolished, people are without charge in jail, everybody who is free elected is immediately, it is like sentenced to, and he is put to Belgrade and he is in prison. Or he is murdered by special secret police outside of Yugoslavia. Yugoslavian security police had very bad record of murders of dissidents and even own nationalists outside Yugoslavia. Just now was paralyzed by guns, bullets in West German, Albanians or Skiptari activists from Kosovo. Today we have also very good news from Bulgaria. So after bad news and ugly news from Bulgaria 10 years ago, when everybody was deprived to have own names, can you imagine that suddenly your morning came here and you are not anymore John, you are Todor. You have new passport, everything. It was Bulgarization called. Final solution for Muslims inside Bulgaria. And they failed. Not Muslims defeat Theodor Zhivkov. Theodor Zhivkov, Mladenov today are like the East German Stasi. They scare and they stay and they during their retirement in their house. And Muslims today are returned from Turkey. Again, there are 2 million Muslims, not only Turkish minority. That's not true. There are 500,000 Pomaks, Muslims, Bulgars, Muslim Bulgars, who accept Islam during Sultan Mehmed IV. Nobody forced them. And there was like the Bogomils sects in Yugoslavia who accept Islam, and they are Bosnians today. They were former Bogomils. It was like the Albigens Catars in West, so in eastern part of Christianity, they were called Bogomils, God lovers, and they found they liberty and freedom and expression. And today they are the most desperate Muslims. The Bosnian Muslims are the toughest Muslims, tougher than in many parts of Kuwait or Abu Dhabi, in the defense of Islamic identity. So in Bulgaria today also is party called Movement for Democracy and Human Rights, ruled by Ahmed Dogan, former Doganov. Today Dogan. We return to proper names, or we embrace new names. My names, I have my birth name Bogdan, very old Slavic ancient name Bogdan, Latin Deus dedit, or Greeks Theodor, God give. And so it is very. So I needn't even. There is tradition in Islam. When you accept Islam, we usually get Arab sound name. If there is, but there's not necessity. But it is beautiful tradition. So I do not change my name. I translate my name to Ataula. In Arabic, Ataula. It means just like Bogdan. So it's exactly the same name. So new identity, old names, new identity, and dialectic exchange of. Dialectic relationship between history and our choice. Also, there are Muslims in Poland, in Hungary, and Lithuania. Of course, they we can call them minority. I speak according to sociological research. I told you, they are part of Dar al-Islam. We are one nation. They are not Jewish minority in Russia. They are Jews of Russia, Jews from Romania. They feel strong kinship, and then too. We also, we are the first we are Muslims. Later we are the racial or ethnic kinship, important. So in Poland today there are about 6,000 Muslims. I write just now monography about Muslims of Poland and Lithuania. I will publish it in the International University in Pakistan. And so they are mostly, majority of them, they are Tatars. Noblemen. In 1410, in the 15th century, after the crushing victory of Polish Lithuanian army over former Crusaders Teutonian Order in Grunwald battle, Tatars, Muslims, 1,200 Muslim soldiers from Toktamish Khanate helped Polish king to defeat the Westerners, the Teutonian orders, the former Crusaders, expelled by Saladin from Palestine. And so they settled down in Poland because and they married local native Polish women, and they received nobility. So they were noblemen. They were Polska szlachta, Tatarska szlachta, Tatarish noblemen, yeomen. And later they play in Poland. They of course passed time of discrimination in 16th century when Catholic intolerance was a religious war between Protestant and Catholic. So Muslims were catched in midst. So, but later they also enjoy Renaissance before World War I and World War II. And today, just now, is also small Nahda, small Renaissance of Islamic faith among Polish Muslims, girls and boys. But it's very small minority. I think 6,000 between 35 million Poles. It's very small. And they never, Polish were never anti-Muslims, despite of couple painful moments in Turkish-Tatars relationship. They were never like that. So I enjoy in prison among Catholics, prisoners, and another freedom of religious expression under one communist warden who observed all of us. And so Muslims, similarly, similar situation is in Hungary, in Magyar, where is a small Islamic community in Budapest. Today, most of them, they are convert to Islam. Hungarian who, today, like in Spain, many Andalusian rediscover themselves that they are Moriscos. So they are Muslims in Toledo again, and Islam is second religion again. The Torquemada, the Inquisition, and Bishop Jimenez, he turned himself in his tomb. Now, it's again a lot of good things for us. I'm speaking in Spain. Why? In democratic Spain, after the Franco authoritarian regime. So we enjoy democracy. I assure you that more fundamentalists are today, Muslim fundamentalists here in America, in London, than in certain area of Karachi in Pakistan. And so we are very comfortable today in the world of transition. I use the term in my speech, anamorphosis. Let me decode it. Now, Oswald Spengler used the word pseudomorphosis, where it's false or deformation of shape of culture, when young culture cannot emerge from old culture, or is crushed by neighbor culture. Anamorphosis, in Greek, return or restoration of shape, restoration of form. Exactly, I borrow it from history of art. It was in 18th century. You remember there were the artists and painters used special device. They painted almost abstractive picture. There was nothing, mishmash. And if you put the optical device, suddenly you see hidden shape, or for instance, dissident or King Jacob, or even pornographic, obscenic picture, painting. So I symbolically use the anamorphosis, that by post-industrial society, the super electronic devices, our new identity in our very comfortable society can help for us restore the old lost paradigma or our old glory. We have a dream, we Muslims. We have a dream of Nizam al-Mustafa, glorious order, caliphate, without borders, without ethnic violence, where there are no Arabs, Turks, and Kurdish, and Punjabis, and Afghans, but are Muslims, and beautiful order, ruled even by kings or caliphs or amirs, but elected or selected by pious masses. That is our dream. From liberal point of view, ugly face of fundamentalism, feudal dream, and so and so. We are not dangerous for nobody if nobody will attack us. Jihad we declare against ourselves. If you really study concept of jihad in Eastern Europe, in Western, you will understand that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said one day his companions returned from big battle. They were wounded with broken armors, and they asked him, "O Prophet, what is our situation?" And speak, "Now is time for greater jihad," he said. And they asked him, "What is greater jihad than physical battle?" And he said, "The greater jihad, it means effort. In Arabic, jihad means effort, struggle, inner struggle, inward struggle." The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "The greater struggle is against ourselves, against our ego, So we believe that Islamic system, it is a system of wise limitation. And when we see that suddenly that Western democracy also need a lot of reforms, glasnost and perestroika, that suddenly after freedom in Eastern Europe, Western democracy is not the ideal model. Even Westerners, you today seek something else. There is Christian fundamentalism. Some people go to corner of 700 clubs, and some people look for in KP party or in Yappy Pubby's philosophy. Some jogging and some read books in library. So some dig in history. Some people look to the future. That is our mankind. We treat as a Muslim mankind as a living body, entity, with pain, with suffering, with joy, with everything. We are not stiff. Islam is very elastic, very pragmatic. but also very staunch and firm religion. So the anamorphosis, there is today a chance for us, for Muslims, in Eastern Europe and in Western Europe. Doesn't exist anymore Iron Curtain. Doesn't exist anymore walls. Who exactly defends himself in Mossad style or fortress style, or like the Chinese civilization, they built huge, wonderful walls against Mongols, and Mongols defeat them despite of the walls. So walls are very risky business. So call it fortress, even fortress of democracy is a risky business. We do not build fortress as a Muslims. We are, as you know, Islamic history, that Islam was spread usually not by fire and sword. Nobody stay behind me with curved saber when I accept Islam. Islam was spread by, like in Indonesia, the biggest Islamic nation is Indonesia. There were not Arab horsemen over there. If there were, or nobody in Turkestan, Mongols were the best soldiers. No, not in the time of Arab. So it is impossible. Why suddenly Mongols from the warriors of steppe turned themselves to prosperous Muslims, merchants and builders of beautiful Bukhara, Hiva, and the masterpiece of Isfahan and other places? Why? Why they built beautiful mosque, Khusrev Beg Mosque in Sarajevo in Yugoslavia? Why it happened like that? Because there was different message. In this place where Muslims abused on power and fought in name of Islam, but really they fought for power. In this place, Islam evaporated. And in this place where Islam came peacefully as a message, or they were accepted by people, today the Muslims are the staunch defenders of Islam, like the Yugoslavian Muslims, like the Russian Muslims. We lost all in Russia, all masjids, mosques, madrasas, schools. They murdered all imams, muftis, hafiz, and today you see again, like the spring flowers. Everything, every week, today are 2 new mosques. More, again, Time Magazine news. In Moscow, Imam of Moscow Mosque said, we have 600,000 followers in Moscow region, and I have only 1 mosque. We need more because we pray outside on park. It's change. It's big change. If we have seen last year 6,000 veiled Muslims demonstrate in front of President Mitterrand for right to be veiled, because 2 girls, Muslim girls, were expelled from school because they were veiled by fanatical secularists. So you see, suddenly situation is changed. And wife of President Mitterrand said, why not? They have right. It's free France, not Tunis. It's not Tunis. It's next month in Turkish, first time was the abolition of the ugly ban of veil inside Ankara University. From West came the message today. You see? So we are smart enough that we first change inside the West. Because what is the West? I asked my shaykh in India, what is the West? And he answered me, is the place of sunset. Because it is. What is the Western civilization? Is the state of mind. What is the Islamic civilization? Is the state of mind. Phenomenology. And so and so. But I completely deviate from speech about the problem of Muslims and Islam inside Yugoslavia and Hungary. And I went to the risky, foggy galaxy of so-called who are we? Who are we? Who am I? Thank you very much for your patience. Sabr, in Arabic, sabr. Is virtue. If you suffer more than 1 hour, I'm really happy. against more about clapping. Clapping in Muslim civilization, we do not clap. Usually it's a different way, but I don't want to oppress you. I don't want to stop clapping because it's totalitarian. However, everybody has totalitarian tendency. Oh, that is the proper answer for in our Muslim world. We shouting Allahu Akbar, God is great, not clapping.
Again, we invite you to tonight's lecture, Iron Curtain Calls, and tomorrow night the lecture by Paul Sweezy on the future of capitalism. I thank you all very much.
No questions? Thank God, no questions. Yes, ma'am. Go.